Happy New Year! Welcome once again, everybody. This is IntuitiveEdge. It's time to take a look at our 2024 world predictions. Okay, I've laid out the cards here, and I'm going to go around and explain to you what this spread is, and then I will go through each of the cards, and we'll talk about what to expect this coming year. So I started out putting out this card here, starts January. And I went this way around for each month of the year for 2024, ending in December. Okay. Then this, I was told to do the 13th card and then the bottom card and read those two together as an overview for the year. Now, as you see, we have the Devil card and also the Emperor card. Those two energies together are incredibly powerful. But I'm going to go through the year first and then seek guidance as to exactly how to best interpret those two energies. But to suffice it to say, this is a very treacherous energy here. And again, with this card being the Emperor, leadership and deception could be a really big problem in 2024, or something that is to be contended with. There could be issues with dishonest leadership. There could be lots of issues that are under the table, not above board. So we'll have to see how those play out, and I'll see what other messages I get with that. But so just so you know what we're starting off with when I talk about these, this is for January. This is the 5 of Swords. Okay, February is the 8 of Swords. So right off the bat, it's going to be a little tricky because these are difficult energies, and this is an energy of feeling restricted or hemmed in. We have the Death card, which is radical change and transformation coming up in the spring in March. Turning the corner into the next quarter, in April, we have the Moon card on the heels of this radical change. So there's some sort of radical change coming up in the spring that is going to be a little bit secretive, underhanded, perhaps, could be a little, shall we say, crafty. I'm just going to use that word. So I'll get into what I think that is a little more. I have some intuitive things that came into me the other day on this, so I'll elaborate on that in a moment. So for May, we have this card, the 8 of Pentacles. It's about work, getting back to work on things, projects. And then we have this for June. That's a card of a lot going on. There could be a lot of confusion that month, but a lot going on. So July, we have the Wheel of Fortune. That's a card of fate, destiny, karma, things happening that are set in motion. So that's going to be interesting to see what gets put into motion in July. August, we have new beginnings, Ace of Swords, card of victory, and basically new beginnings, starting again, but a very powerful and forceful card. September is this card, the 7 of Wands, card of getting the upper hand. And then October, we have a messenger. A messenger. The Page of Cups tells us that there are new relationships forming, lots of messages, and we'll see what more messages come through for October. But there's things that are happening when the pages show up. They let us know that there's more that's going to be happening and shedding light on things. So we'll get more on that. And then November is kind of a difficult or sad change overall. December is the 3 of Pentacles, and that is a card of planning, strategizing, and working. Again, these two cards flavoring the overall is that is setting this up to be quite a doozy of a year, in my opinion. Okay, all right. What comes to mind when I look at that Devil Emperor combination for this year tells me a lot about leadership and people being dishonest, disloyal, And also the idea of slave master, slave race, being subservient to the master. So there could be an uprising or an effort to crack down, either one of those or both. Perhaps people are going to be uprising, wanting to throw off their shackles, feeling hemmed in, and perhaps feeling like a slave. And then also that energy is going to be met with enforcements, crackdowns, and that kind of thing. So who ultimately wins, it just depends on the area and the people involved. But this could be something that transcends just one area. It could be globally, this feeling of wanting to throw off our masters and be autonomous, not slaves anymore. So this could lead to people feeling unsettled. This could lead to, I don't want to say riots, but there could be things like that in different areas. And it stems from people wanting to throw off leadership that doesn't feel congruent with where they want to go and who they want to be. Okay, so that's first and foremost. Another thing I did was I picked some spirit animal oracles to go with each quarter of the year. So I picked 4 cards, and then I picked an overall also for the energy for the year. So for the first 3 months, the first quarter of the year, we have the dragonfly spirit. And so that's a very beautiful card. I'm going to grab the little booklet and see what this says about dragonfly energy. Some of you may have your own thoughts about dragonfly energy if you pay attention to spirit animal work. This is about reminding us of the wisdom and truth available to us at all times. So I really think that this year is going to be a year of truth. Truth in all of its forms. I think for the last several years at least, in especially the recent past, humanity globally, we have been fed untruths, lies, misinformation. And ironically, the people that are accusing the most others of misinformation themselves are guilty of spreading misinformation. So misinformation, that is everywhere. And I think this may be the year where the truth actually spills out and people want the truth, not just to hear what they want to hear. People may have to be faced with hearing the truth. And it may be uncomfortable. It may be something they're not ready for, but on some level they are ready for it. Even if they don't want to hear it, on some level, people are wanting the truth. And I think that's going to become more apparent as we go along throughout this year. Let's see. Dragonfly also says that it's here to tell us to pay attention to the truth beyond the illusion. So we get a lot of illusion. There's a lot of fakery, misinformation, and fake news. And that comes at us through the pipelines that we trust. So this is telling us that the truth is there and we have to pay attention to it and recognize truth versus the illusion and recognize the insights that come out of nowhere. So that's going to be interesting. Things that come out of nowhere, a truth suddenly pops up and everybody's talking about it. In the realm of spirit, there is far more wisdom than you can perceive with your senses. And there's a deep knowing that you are not separate nor alone. Ooh, now isn't that interesting? There's been a lot of talk about disclosure, alien agenda, those kind of things. Do we have others in the universe? Maybe that's coming to light too. If this is a year of truth, let's have at it, right? Let's get the whole truth and see what comes out. Ooh, exciting. All right. Let's see, what else? Okay, for a higher power recognizes us and loves us beyond measure. Fear dissipates as we realize we are embraced by the nurturing force that is everywhere, always in communication with you. Alighting when you are preoccupied, the dragonfly spirit offers this message. You exist in unity with all, including protective spirits who share their wisdom, and you are being nudged along the path your soul needs to travel to experience what it craves. So, on a deep level, humanity, all of us, may be craving the truth, even if it's uncomfortable. So, that's an overview of the first few months, January, February, March, moving into this year. So, January, we have the Five of Swords. Let's get back to the tarot here. The Five of Swords is a card of struggle, conflict. It can be moving on after a battle's been over, or fighting a hard fight and having to push through. So that could be the energy around all of this. We do have wars going on across the globe in certain areas. So these skirmishes could be, I wonder if some of them could be wrapping up. Let me see if tap into that for a minute. Because this Five of Swords does sometimes carry an ending to a conflict. I don't think that all wars are going to suddenly magically end in January, although that would be nice. There could be certain things, though, that come to a conclusion or outlive their purpose and just by necessity have to come to an end. We'll see how that plays out. It doesn't feel joyful. It feels like it's been a hard-fought, hard-won battle. And in war, nobody truly wins, right? February, we have this card, the Eight of Swords. This is a card of basically being hemmed in, restricted, unable to move forward. Sometimes it can indicate isolation. It can indicate feeling or being imprisoned. So coming on the heels of this hard-fought battle, and then there's stalemate or stagnant, unable to move forward, or feeling that way. I do feel like there's a lot of loss of life in February. It feels like there's an etherealness about it, like there may be a transitioning of many souls. For March, we have the Death card. Again, death in tarot doesn't necessarily mean literal death, but this Death card does bring a major transformative change afoot. So that is the energy with that Death card. Lots of change. However, moving into April, something I picked up on the other day when I was meditating, I was getting the image of a group or groups of people who are trying to start another pandemic type of situation, epidemic thing, or trying to start something. And it's really behind the scenes, and I'm gonna say it's dishonest from the get-go. It's shady. It's they're trying to hide their real intentions. I don't sense that it's going to be long lasting. This feels like it's going to be a push, but it's going to flop. I don't feel like it has the longevity that perhaps the last one did. But it will serve its purpose, probably deceiving a few people along the way. But it's just, I feel like it's going to try on a couple of different fronts to hold the human population at bay and in check. And you know, these things, even though they are challenging and difficult, they are serving a purpose, and that is to wake people up. So a lot of what we've seen over the last several years have been just that. Waking people up to the ugly truth. And it hasn't been pretty. A lot of it has not. But the nice thing is that when we do wake up, that more and more of us, it's an exponential thing. And more people are seeing the truth. And I think the truth is the devil behind the emperor. And perhaps, maybe we will see the emperor has no clothes. That this is seeing through the veil. Maybe we're just starting to tear down that wall and see what's beyond it and get ourselves beyond it. So April is that moon card, that card of illusion. So be very careful and really vet things that come out. Don't believe everything that you hear. That's probably going to be good advice going into this year, but especially around March and April, to know that if something comes out, really vet it, check it out, be thorough. This is going to be a year to, as the dragonfly spirit said, separate truth from illusion and don't just believe everything that you hear. Not that any of you would do that, but just saying that's a mantra for this year, for everybody, for all of us. So before we get too far with that, let's go into this second quarter. So April, May, and June. The animal oracle, we'll go there, is the dog spirit. So let's see what dog spirit has to say. It says, be loyal to what you love. I think a lot of us are going to be challenged to focus on ourselves and what we love, and not so much on what we hate or don't like. I think we may be learning as a species that we truly do create that which we hold in mind. As we hold things in our mind, we create. That's the source of creation. So I think that may be why certain spirits that are not of the light want to keep humanity distracted, because when we're distracted and we have all these other bills and everything else that is taking our attention, it takes us away from creating. And I think the human ability to create reality is terrifying to those that want to control humanity, if that makes sense. Okay. So let me get over here to dog spirit. It's number 22. I'm sorry, no, it's not. That was dragonfly. Number 19. Here we go. Be loyal to what you love. The dog spirit appears to remind us that although change is part of life, and all of us are meant to evolve, we are loved now and can trust that the higher love that we feel is true. Spirit's love has arrived in many forms now, manifesting in people you surround yourself with, expressed uniquely through them. Dog spirit also says to be true to who you love, for now is the time of good fortune. This is a time to be steady as we recognize that people and things are always transforming. Your heart is loving and true, and dog wants your steadfast commitment. Experiencing and expressing love will attract and manifest more love to you. You deserve all of it. Have faith in Spirit's plan. So dog spirit, be loyal to what you love. I think in people and in your life. What do you love? Whatever you love is what you're going to give your attention to. And what you give your attention to is what you create more of. Okay. All right, let's move on to May. May, we have the Eight of Pentacles. This is a card of getting back to work, working on things, projects. This could be a good energy just in general of getting projects done, working on things. It's a favorable energy. It's maybe we've moved out of some of this more stuck negativity through the first of the year, and that's actually a nice turning point, is that beautiful Eight of Pentacles. June is the Seven of Cups, a card of having a lot going on, a lot on your plate. Sometimes this can manifest as confusion, not knowing what to do, or having so many choices that you don't know which way to go. So there could just be a lot going on. And as we create new things, there could be a lot of that moving through. I am picking up something of like a fire that may be gaining attention, perhaps in the news. It feels like I don't know what this is. Some type of building, maybe a warehouse or some sort of building fire. There could be some fires maybe breaking out in different areas. So watch for that. I'm trying to see where this might be. I don't get the sense of that. Anyway, that just kind of popped up in my intuition right now. So we'll see what that means for June. There could be some sort of fire or danger of fire. Perhaps wildfires too could be an issue. The Wheel of Fortune is on July. Now, this is setting things in motion. And it's very hard to stop once things are set in motion with this card. July, there's going to be a lot of things happening. It is an election year in the United States. Usually in the summertime is when candidates are on their final stretch. So there could be some things that are set in motion at that time. And there's something fated or destined about it. And it's going to change the trajectory. I still feel like this is in flux right now, sitting looking at July, just a few months down the road from now. I'm feeling like this is going to change the direction perhaps of elections or something. There's something coming in that's going to shift focus and move things in a different direction. I'm kind of feeling like it's perhaps not a good thing. I don't know what this is, but it feels like there's a shift. Maybe a different candidate is coming forward, maybe stepping in, something like that. August is about change. This is a card of victory, moving forward, but it's a nice card. That Ace of Swords is about victory, truth, power, and moving forward. I love how it has, I'll get this card again. I love how it has the Dove of Peace behind the Sword of Truth. Interesting symbology with this. So the Sword of Truth and the Dove of Peace. All right, so as we move into the third quarter, let's take a look here. We have the Scarab Beetle. The Scarab Beetle. This is magic works through you. So let's see what this beetle has in store. Number 52. Let's see what it says here. So this oracle is regarding ancient Egypt. In ancient Egypt, the scarab beetle was revered. For the creative magic of this beetle reminds us that we can bring forth something extraordinary, seemingly out of thin air. Whenever you let your creativity flow, the scarab beetle reminds you that Spirit has given you this gift of infinite potential. You have an ally as you fashion something new or repurpose the old, for Spirit co-creates with you, channeling energy through you so you feel replenished and revitalized as you make magic with what is at hand. So it's all about manifesting, learning our true power, our true worth, going after what we love, focusing on that. This is also a message about believing in yourself and not selling yourself short. And knowing that, yes, you do have the power to manifest your desires, manifest what you really want. It takes a focused concentration on that and to not get distracted by the extraneous stuff that we see in the news or that we see being played out. It's focusing on ourselves and the love within, and what do we love? What do we want to see? What do we want to create more of? Focus on that. Let's see. July, August, September. September is the Seven of Wands. This is the card of getting the upper hand. It is a message of struggle. So there could be some struggle, and there could be moments of emergence, moments of people moving out, being recognized, coming forward, getting the upper hand. We could be seeing a lot of that in this September month, in the months leading up to the election in the US, but also around the world, getting the upper hand. It feels as though there's a lot of heavy energy at the first part of this year, and there's some transformative changes coming through the mid part of the year. Okay, October, we have this messenger telling us that there is more to the story. There could be some person that's going to be a big piece in the news. Something that I did feel the other day when I was tuning into this year, there could be around September time, I was sensing the passing of a leader. And I think this is in Eastern Europe. So it's either a leader, a head of state, or it is someone who is beloved in that area. But I was sensing someone of prominence passing toward that time, around that time. So October could also be that time as well. It was in the fall. So this message could be a message about that, or it could simply show that there are some big changes coming. And the Page of Cups is all about moving through change and telling us that things are going to be okay. There's a lot of missing pieces and moving pieces with this card. Not everything is as it seems. It's kind of in flux during that time. There could be some issues with weather also in the fall, perhaps. November, we have this card. This is a card of change. Change. This change can bring an element of having to move on from something, having to depart from what has been and move into a whole new direction. It can bring sadness. It can bring, well, depending on who it's about or what it's about. But in general, this change is going to feel like it's forced on people. Like we have to move this new direction. It almost feels like it's tied in somehow to that Wheel of Fortune card, that things are set in motion and they are going this way. It's just a cycle, and it's a change and a cycle and a change and a cycle. It's what it feels like in the middle of this cycle. So the fourth quarter, we'll get into the animal card here. This is the koi fish. The koi fish. And this one says there is always enough. So no matter what is going on in the world, there is always enough. And that's a really nice message for any time of the year. But let's see what this one says. Koi fish. The koi fish grows big within a small pond. And it reminds each of us that we each have the potential for prosperity. The law of abundance ensures that prosperity is our natural state, regardless of temporary outer conditions. You can call in prosperity and magically attract the opportunities and abundance that you need. The message of the koi fish spirit is to begin to generate wealth within with deliberate intention, no matter how small your pond may seem. Appreciate abundance wherever you see it. So no matter what is going on in the world, no matter what is happening with elections, no matter where they are, we each can create the world we want to live in by what we focus on. By focusing on love, prosperity, goodness, wholeness, and holding those intentions, no matter what the world looks like outside, we will begin to bring that into our experience. We have to hold that and anchor those energies in. And I think a lot of that's already being done. A lot of people are anchoring in those energies. There are so many good videos out there, great YouTubers and places on Rumble and others where people are doing guided meditations for holding that space to co-create a world we want to live in and to keep us from getting sucked in and distracted by the world and what's going on in the world. Because as we anchor ourselves, that what we see in the world will have to match our state of being. That's how we create. We become what we want to be. And our world that we're seeing will begin to reflect that. We have to hold fast to that vision of ourselves that we want to create. December has the Three of Pentacles. This is a card of planning, strategizing, working on a plan. You know, I'm kind of feeling like this could be related to the November, what happens in November. I know it's an election month, but this card is, the energy is kind of pulling into November. So whatever this change is about, that's going to be difficult or challenging. Let me take a sip of tea here. Whatever this change is, it's going to cause some changes, some planning that is going to be implemented. And it's like forging a new path. Forging a new path. I don't think the world, I feel like we've been here before at this precipice type. This time, it's real. It's real again. We're coming through something we've been through before. I'm getting a World War II reference. I'm thinking that what happened at the end of World War II could have a bearing here. We could be moving into accountability, perhaps. And maybe that's wishful thinking on my part. But there's something related to the changes that occur at the end of the year that is forging a new path forward. And I use the term forge deliberately based on this picture. I hope you can see it. But he's got that fire in the background, and he's obviously a metallurgist or some type of alchemist. And forging a new path, that's what we're doing. We're remaking something. I think we are remaking, perhaps governments will change, and not just cyclically as they do with elections. And I'm thinking the United States could be forging a new path. I don't think, this is like new territory. We're in new territory, uncharted waters, parting the ways to move into something brand new. And this is going to take dedication, effort, and work. I almost feel like there's a convention of states. Now, I know that that's a constitutional term from the United States when they call a convention of states. That could happen. I'm not saying it will, but that's the energy of it. There's this whole new path forward. And like uncharted, we haven't been here before. What do we do now? How do we move through? So 2025 is going to be an acceleration, I think, of what's happened this year. This year is laying the groundwork for the energies that are coming in the next years afterward. I have one more. This is the overall animal spirit for the year 2024. We have the antelope. This says life is speeding up. How many of you have been feeling that? I think we all have on some level. It feels like a week feels like a day. A month feels like a week. A year feels like it flies by. So this is number 2. Let's see. Antelope spirit. When antelope spirit rushes into your life, you are being reminded of the quickening of your personal evolution. Oh, yes, 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 this. This is what's happening. We are evolving, and it is happening at an exponential rate. Exponential rate. You are being told unequivocally that it is time to get moving. Set your intentions and take action toward making your dreams a reality. There is an intensity that you can feel. It is important to take advantage of this energy right now. If you have a plan for your career or financial abundance, now is the time to step it up. If you're asking about relationships, make that move. Just know that the intentions you've set in motion are coming together at warp speed. Whew, I'm getting goosebumps, guys. Stay alert and keep up with the pace. Things are getting interesting when antelope spirit calls you to move quickly. I have got chills from head to toe. Oh my goodness. Whew. Let's see, I gotta read on here. Do you feel like everything is moving at warp speed? It's hard to control desired outcomes or set fixed goals because by the time you get there, you will have actually moved beyond them. Now is the time to let go and enjoy the exhilarating ride, as intentions you have set in motion in the past are coming into form with lightning speed. Oh my goodness. Your job is to stay the course, even if the pace feels dizzying. That's what we were just talking about. Stay the course with your intention, what you want to create in this world. Don't get distracted by what's happening. Hold what you want, and that will eventually show up in your life. Okay. Make peace with this pace, for if you ride this quickening energy, you will solve the challenges effortlessly, instead of being bogged down. Whew, it's like ride the wave, ride the wave. If something is not going to be in your best interest, no matter how badly you want it, antelope will quickly remove it so you can move toward what is truly meant for you. I hope each of you can take that to heart. If something is in your life that you don't want there, don't fret, don't focus on it. Focus on what you do want. The universe is quickening the energy to move that crud out of your life and give you a better life. Focus on what you want. Oh man. Okay, one more sentence here. If something is taken away from you, be grateful. Breathe deeply and keep moving. Whew. Oh man, that was beautiful. Antelope spirit, life is speeding up. I think we're all feeling that. Well, I want to stop this video here. Thank you, each and every one of you. I hope you have a beautiful year. May 2024 be the best year of your life, and may the best be yet to come also. Thanks, everyone. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.